Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, your late night morning talk show where four people talk about four things they found on the internet. I'm your host Taylor, and with me this week to talk about food and web things and apparently car washes, it's Tyler the Troubadour Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
Hey everybody. It was day 6 at work for me, so I got off promptly at 3 a.m. last night. I then woke up at 10:45 to go to work at 11. So my brunch and/or breakfast and lunch consisted of a pastry, a bear claw to be precise, and some coffee.
Bear claws are fucking delicious.
They are. No more personal anecdote from me. That's it.
I'm assuming he probably ate something, but it's really hard to tell. Sean the Shitstorm Evans, what did you have for brunch today?
I had pancakes.
Sean's been stepping it up. I really appreciate it.
Hey, there's more than just one mouth to feed now.
I also appreciate it. I'm glad that you're eating nutritiously and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go. This intro
Thanks,
isn't
Mom.
cringeworthy at all. First
It is now
time...
that you said it.
Thanks, bud. Appearing on the show officially for the first time, but he's been here before. It's Ben, the young gun Pentecost. Welcome to the show, Ben. What did you have for brunch today?
I had a nice hearty dose of Pizza Hut. I finished my $10 dinner box that I had for dinner last night, and then I cleaned my roommate's puke out of our bathtub.
Nice.
It was a good morning. It was
What's the
very
dinner
good.
box? I don't know what that is.
It's got pizza and regular breadsticks, and then you get cinnamon sticks.
Nice.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a really good deal.
All for $10.
So basically, it's just 3 individual loaves of bread with assorted toppings on them.
Essentially, yeah. More or less.
This podcast brought to you by Pizza Hut. It's basically just bread. Well, I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead, and for brunch this morning, I had a fried egg and some toast and some coffee. And then I was still kind of hungry, and so a little bit later, I devoured a Five Guys burger. Turns out, Five Guys burger, same amount of calories as a small shake from Arby's. The more you know.
I don't know which is
What?
the astounding part.
That's not
I don't
true.
either. Right? That's what I thought. I thought there was no way that it could possibly be true.
That's impossible.
Look it up, or don't. Anyway, as usual this week we're going to talk about 4 things we found on the internet, and you can play along at home with Dude's Brunch Bingo. dudesbrunch.wordpress.com/bingo. You know how that works. But our first topic this week is kind of from the internet. I don't really understand how this works. Sean, why the fuck do you want to talk about car washes?
Okay, so I should warm this up with a story. So at my new apartment building, there's these like really old trees that are next to the building, and I parked my car under them because I don't like to go out there with a super hot car. And I come out on Tuesday morning to take Sarah to work, and my car is covered in bird poop that wasn't there the day before. So I thought like, oh, I have the day off, so I should go get my car washed, right? So this will be my first question, which will kind of lead into, but I'll tell the story. I love to wash my own car. Like, I like going to the coin-operated one and having the pressure washer and, like, spraying it all down and then getting out the hose and doing the soap thing and then, like, parking it and rubbing it off with a towel and stuff and then driving it back home. Like, I like doing that. And it's pretty cheap. For, like, $4, you can pretty much get the job done. It's nice. It makes me feel productive in my day. But when I went to go look for where the nearest coin-operated car wash was in Arlington, Virginia, there's not. There is not a coin-operated car wash around here.
Can
And
you
this struck
believe
me.
it?
I know. Okay,
Wow.
so I know this sounds like really like dumb, but like I don't know if you guys have ever seen how much it costs to get a touchless car wash, or if you guys have ever done it. It's expensive. It's like $35, $40 to have a touchless car wash done. Yeah, exactly, Ben. That face is exactly
the fuck are you
right.
going to get your car washed?
Yeah, where are you getting your car washed?
No, this is go look it up. You live in Atlanta and Cincinnati. These things exist. Look it up. Go to your Googlers.
$6.
Yeah, it's $6 for me here in Atlanta.
No. I'm not talking about going through a machine. I'm talking about like small businesses where they do touchless car washes.
Oh, like people come out and wash your car. Yeah, that's like
Yes,
35,
yeah.
40 bucks.
That's generally what it is around here.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, just go
That's
through an
what I mean.
automatic car wash, Sean.
Through what?
Just go through a machine car wash.
They don't have those either.
I don't believe that.
Look it up. Okay, so that's what I mean. This outrage, this questioning, is how I got to talk about car washes, because you guys wanted to hate on me, because this is what it comes to. All right. So I went on the website. I was looking at all this stuff, and of course people moved to this area, and the first comment is like, I just moved to Virginia. Why are there no car washes around here that cost less than $100? And there's a bunch of comments on here, and people are like, it's because people around here are really rich, so they don't want to take their cars to touch car washes because they're really nice cars. Vandalism is high at coin car washes. Property is expensive. People make too much money. There's all these reasons that are floated around, right? And if you want to go to one of these coin-operated car washes, you have to drive like 30 miles outside of town, right? And this is what's so strange to me, because growing up in Cincinnati and Akron and everywhere I've ever lived, they've had coin-operated car washes. It's just been the normal, you know? So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys. What do you think about this? Like, do you prefer to hand wash your car, or do you like to go to the car wash, or do you do a touchless wash? I don't know. I've never asked this question.
So I go to a machine car wash because there's one right by my office. It's on my way home, and it's like $6, and there's like free vacuums after the car wash. So I think it's a pretty decent deal. There's a place right up the street from my house called the Auto Spa and Bistro, which is a sit-down restaurant / touchless car wash, and it has $100 car wash and dinner combos, which I will never in my life do, because I think if you're going on a date to the car wash, your life is sad.
I think it sounds classy.
Tyler, any thoughts on this? Ben, any thoughts on this?
Just wouldn't get my car washed. I mean, it's like, if I can't get the dancing noodlies or just a self-service one, I'm like, well, I guess I don't need to pay $30 for this. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what rain's for, right?
Yeah, that is what rain is for, but it doesn't get the salt off your car when it snows.
Ben, do you said before we were on the podcast that you're very into doing your own car. What do you think?
Did I say this? I mean, okay. First of all,
you said, and I quote, "I'm an avid car washer."
I'm a fan of car washes. I don't like washing my car.
What does that mean? Do you have like some kind of car wash fetish or something? I'm a fan of car washes.
I enjoy car washes. Like, you gotta get, like Tyler said, you get the noodly thing. I took my dogs into a car wash once, into one of those like drive-through, like it drives you, and it was like, and my dogs were there, and they were having a great time, and they were just like barking and running around the car, and everyone was having fun. Tyler gets it.
That's a great story, Ben. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it right over here in the story basket.
I think it's a great story. What my question, I want to know, why, when you couldn't find a car wash, your first reaction was to Google, why are there no car washes?
Because I was genuinely curious.
Because he's on a podcast about
Nothing.
weird stuff on the internet, right?
I had a question I wanted to get answered. It was after lots of research of not finding coin-operated car washes anywhere. I was
Sean.
like, why are they not there?
That's very interesting. I actually appreciate that you came up with something a little different. Thank you.
So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Because, I mean, granted, you guys probably have never lived in Arlington or have maybe not have ever been here. Do you guys, like, believe any of this stuff, that people, the reason that they gave on here, any of those reasons that I gave you, that, like, people just don't want brushes touching their cars, or it's just a product of the property, or vandals get everything, or what do you think about that?
I think those people definitely exist. I mean, you know, wealthy people have all sorts of different things that they don't want to do for whatever reason because it feels below them. And I think car washes can fall into that category for some people. They really care about their cars and they would rather have them hand washed or whatever. That's fine. I wish the option were more readily available for you as a non-wealthy, crazy person. But, sucks to suck, I guess.
Ain't that the truth?
Anybody else? Any other observations there?
So you've experienced car washes also in Akron, right? Because
Right.
I'm clearly the only person that hasn't left Cincinnati. So I'm like, there's like 5 car washes in every direction. Like, I'm practically swimming in car washes. So I'm like, I don't know why this is such a problem. That's weird. I don't like it.
Yes. Well, no, I like doing the coin operated one because it's cheap, and you can just go and do it. You don't have to worry about it, and they're everywhere. I bet there's probably, if you looked it up right now, there's probably a coin operated car wash within a mile of all of you, and they don't exist here. That's so strange. That's so weird.
I'm not all that surprised, like, to a certain extent, because I feel like Arlington is, more of an upscale area, and so there may just not be the demand for them. But I don't know, maybe there's some kind of weird regulatory thing too. Like, in New Jersey, it's illegal to pump your own gas, and so all gas stations in New Jersey are full service. Like, it could have something to do with that, where that like falls into some kind of service requirement.
Mm.
Why is that a thing?
Because it takes away jobs if you can pump your own gas. And so they pay like high school students to pump gas. That's like what their main job is. If they work at a gas station, they just like pump the gas and restock the shelves and stuff.
Well, okay.
That's in New Jersey once.
Okay, better question. How much are you willing to pay for a car wash?
Whole dollars.
How many whole dollars?
Like less than 10.
Okay. So $9. $9. And that's like, and I'm telling like basic car wash, like sprays it down, soaps it up, little dinglies come down and touch your car,
Right.
wash again, air dry. $9,
Yeah.
$10.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, $8 or $9 for just that level. I mean, if they're not detailing my car, $8 or $9.
Yeah, I'm not paying more than $10 for a car wash when I can go home and do it myself.
You guys are gonna pay $10 for that.
I would not pay $10. I'd pay like $7.
I mean,
I
I'm
pay
saying
$7 for that,
desperate times I would pay $8 or $9. Right now I pay $6.
and that's all that you would. Okay, so you don't feel bad. You think that's a good cost for that $6.
Well,
Yes, I do.
I think it's what you have to consider. Like, is it attached to a gas station? If so, it doesn't really matter, because technically that service isn't really like they're making money from a different avenue anyway, and it's a gas station, so who really cares? I mean, like, I don't know. Like, if there's people involved, I'm willing to.
I'm not even questioning like the economics of it. Like, are we paying people fairly? It's more of a convenience thing for me. It is more convenient for me to pay $6 to drive through a car wash than it is to run a hose across my yard and down my driveway and wash my car in the street, because there is not enough space to wash my car like in my driveway next to my house. I would have to stand out in the street and like try not to get hit by cars while I wash it.
Okay, that's the question I'm asking right now. Using cost benefit analysis, knowing what you get paid, are you willing to spend? How much are you willing to spend to have your car wet, soap, wet again, and then unwetted?
So I guess we have to set up the situation where this is a car that's like, it somehow got muddy. Like, the entire thing is now coated in mud. You have to, through some contractual obligation, have to get it clean. How are you going to do it? I either can go outside my front yard, not my front yard because my car obviously is in my front yard, go to the front of my house, I take it to a coin-operated thing, or I go to a machine thing. Mm-hmm. I guess I would probably just do the coin-operated one, where I would do it myself.
Honestly, I've never been in a situation where I've had to like deeply wash my car. I just I usually just do it at home with like dish soap and a washcloth.
I like the one with the little Viking guy on it.
You're still willing to pay
Armor All brand.
Like a half an hour of your time, per se. I don't know how much you get paid. Like 15 minutes of your time to go get a car wash.
I am.
That might make sense to you. And I think depending on how much you're paid, spending $10 might not be that big of a deal.
Well, and I would have to, like, show you the layout of my driveway compared to my house compared to the street for you to fully understand. Like, there is no physical way to get a hose to my car based on where it can be parked. Like, the hose is on the opposite side of the house, and so I would have to buy, like, 50 to 100 more feet of hose just to even get to the car. So at this point, like, it's basically impossible to wash my car at home.
Okay, so now that this topic is a total wash, let's just do a recap of what we've learned so far. The moral of the story is that washing your car has many variables that I hadn't considered, including geographic location of parking spot, unit of hose needed, desire to wash said car, road conditions,
transportation style.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have giant plates or
Right.
magic carpets.
So basically, we're just not going to use any of this week. And next week on the show, I'm going to do something even stupider than this.
I think the moral of the story is anybody can get pissed off on the internet about literally anything, even car washes. Our next topic this week comes from none other than Tyler Reed. Tyler, what do you want to talk about?
Hey everybody, this week we're going to talk about Lisa Frank. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What? Lisa Frank? Those really weird, brightly colorful, multi-lighted pictures of animals doing cute stuff that were on notebook covers and folders from the early 90s? Well, listener, you'd be correct.
Way to go, listener. You guessed the highly specific thing on Tyler's mind this week.
How did you know all of that stuff? Are you Catherine?
Are you the person literally sitting 3 feet to the left of me that currently owns several Lisa Frank folders for her college class that she teaches? Yes. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Lisa Frank. Why? Well, I don't particularly know, but I within the last few months, I found this video that was called "We Found Lisa Frank," and it's like, oh, hey, Lisa Frank, what are you up to? What are you doing? And so it kind of just talked about kind of what she's up to. You know, they've kind of shifted gears, but they're still like doing a lot of stuff. And I've noticed that like a lot of people that I follow on Facebook like a lot of Lisa Frank images, which makes me think, oh, Lisa Frank has a Facebook. And so then you're like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? And so you have such hits as "Stop Hating, Start Baking" with a giant birthday cake and a panda bear. And how many laps is a cheeseburger again? And a dog in a pool with a cheeseburger. And then a day without
That dog
coffee.
is Tyler's spirit animal.
It is. It is my spirit animal. And so it's like these images have like thousands of likes. Like 4K likes. And you're like, wow. For a brand
I wish that was me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then to kind of round things off, to put it into a weird internet vibe, there's the recently deceased nihilist Lisa Frank, which took all those images and then made them hilariously dark. Such as this cat driving a car that says, "The wasted world accelerates just before the final precipice." Or, "We are all eating from the same trash can called ideology." Simply alive out of habit. So I thought these were very funny, and I kind of wanted to just gauge your guys' reaction on, did you know Lisa Frank was still a thing?
First of all, I didn't know Lisa Frank was a real person.
Oh, she is.
I assumed that it was like a brand named after her. But no, she's like a real lady, and she's like still alive and still making tons of art and just doing her thing. And so I respect her for that. You know, I don't really know a whole lot else about Lisa Frank other than that. But hey, whatever, that's cool.
Well, since you didn't get to see her face, I've always wondered if I've met her somewhere or I passed her. Stuff always bothers me.
This week on Dude's Brunch, we'll learn all about Sean's inner anxieties.
It would be cool if you ever met her, you know? That'd be kind of fun.
Well, it is
Lisa
in,
Frank.
I think it's in Arizona, so maybe.
Well, you don't know. She probably does other stuff outside of Arizona.
Well, you know.
I forgot that every graphic designer lives inside of their girlfriend's apartment.
He just
Get
cooked you.
wrecked!
To be fair, that's actually kind of true. Was not like half of the people that go on like the design podcast I listen to called Adventures in Design, they always talk about like how they got their start, and they're like, oh, I worked like really hard, did all this work and stuff, I had to really build up my brand. It's like, oh, well, how did you do that? I'm like, well, I was like, my girlfriend had like a job that gave like benefits and made a lot of money. I'm like, oh, good. Okay, I'm glad that given all the resources in the world that you were able to succeed. Great.
But back to Sunshine and Puppies and Rainbows.
Right. So, Sean, did you know Lisa Frank was still a thing?
I've seen her stuff around when I go to Walmart and stuff like that. I didn't realize that she was so when we watched the video, I didn't realize that she had like a whole manufacturing base that now she contracts that stuff out. Like when you see the video and you see how big the warehouse is, I was thinking like, oh my God, that used to be full of stuff. Like how crazy is that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big it was.
Yeah, the library of stuff, like the vault, was really impressive.
It's pretty crazy to think that it was that insanely popular. I mean, I say that, but it's not really actually that surprising. I was... Because, I mean, I feel like it hit right at the right time. Like, I mean, I feel like I guess the 80s and 90s was a pretty appropriate time for that sort of art. You know, very bright, very colorful, very off the wall, you know. So I feel like it was the right time to make that kind of art. So it makes sense.
Ben, did you own any Lisa Frank folders?
I gotta chime in as the young guy here. I did not know about any of this until 45 minutes ago.
Oh.
I had never seen any of this stuff.
Really? Nobody at your school had Lisa Frank folders or anything?
I went to a private Catholic school of about 300 people, and it was all rich white kids, so no.
Whoa. Economic status has nothing to do with appreciating Lisa Frank.
That being said, I feel like elementary school white girls are the prime demographic for Lisa Frank. It's Sunshine and Puppies and Rainbows. Like,
I don't know. I learned of this brand's existence an hour ago.
okay.
I'm almost offended that you have just never seen this majesty before.
Just for you, Tyler, I'll go out and buy a whole bunch of Lisa Frank folders for school tomorrow.
Listen, I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying
Sarah still has a Lisa Frank ruler.
It might be worth something.
it might be worth a whole $1.
That's like a 40th of a car wash.
Oh yeah. Nice. What's the role of Lisa Frank? Why are people responding to Lisa Frank in the 21st century? Well, clearly it's popular. Gets thousands of likes.
Adult coloring books.
I think adult coloring books and childhood nostalgia is a huge part of it. I don't imagine very many young girls today are buying Lisa Frank unless their mom is like showing it to them as something that she used to have when she was a girl. But there is so much 90s nostalgia right now. We'll link down in the show notes to the best teeth in the motherfucking games 90s rant from earlier this week, where he talked about how everybody wants to be a 90s kid, especially people who didn't grow up in the 90s. And I think the Lisa Frank resurgence is probably a big part of that.
Sorry, I started reading the comments on this. How many laps is a cheeseburger again? And this person's like, the art alone is cool. The slogan takes away from it so much. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't know. Catherine, why do you like Lisa Frank? Because she liked the rainbow tiger and the leopard so much. And an artist panda bear. So she relates with these characters on a artistic level. They do. They apparently have names. Catherine even applied to work at Lisa Frank. She didn't get it, but that's okay. Cause...
I feel like there should probably be a BuzzFeed quiz that's like, which Lisa Frank cartoon are you? Is that a thing that exists that we can take?
It should exist. I don't know.
I don't know if they hire many artists anymore. After you watch that video, it's like an empty building now with like...
It's obviously it's nostalgia, but I think there has to be something else to it. I feel like there's some sort of like relatability and like it's very simple, like like carefree message. Like I feel like Lisa Frank is all about just goofy shit.
Yeah, I mean it's cute rainbow goofy shit. Like I don't know. I feel like you're trying to like read too much into this.
I don't know. I guess not. I guess I am. I don't know. I just wanted to see if there was anything more to it other than nostalgia. Because I mean, like, I just don't feel like it can all be nostalgia. I don't know. Because I guess they still sell the folders. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's all nostalgia. I think that really is like. I mean, these characters are designed well. I mean, when you look at them, they're they all look happy. They have like big round faces. They, their colors are inspiring.
Catherine's got something to say because I wanted her to be on the show, but she refused. Go ahead, Catherine.
Well, I was just saying that maybe one of the reasons people still like Lisa Frank is because of the kind of like weird neo-Dada-esque way that we do things like memes now, which is like combine the most extreme version of everything and like bright colors and put sparkles on everything and flower crowns. Like that, doesn't that already sound like Lisa Frank?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the internet is a giant Lisa Frank trapper keeper?
So what he's saying is that Lisa Frank is just the giant trapper keeper of the internet.
Yeah. Well, it was a trapper keeper before the trapper keeper of the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, artist correspondent Catherine DiMartino. Anyway.
I mean, I think she's right, though. Like, there's a weird, surrealist, bright-colored appeal to all of this. I can tell, just, like, looking into his eyes, that Ben's not kidding. He's gonna carry Lisa Frank folders to all of his classes this semester, right, Ben?
No. I'm looking at these. I just looked up a bunch of pictures of them so I could familiarize myself as you guys are talking about it. But I totally agree that it's they're so memeable. There's just it's so bright and everything's so easy to make it just as absurd as you want it. It's I think it's it fits in with our I don't know it fits in with the current state of meme culture.
Yeah, these things are ripe for memeing.
Right. Which is why Nihilisa Frank is a thing. Well, it was a thing. I got a cease and desist. And because they couldn't distinguish it from the originals.
It's too real, man. You look at these Nihilisa Frank images, and it looks like they were made by the Lisa Frank people. They're really good.
So, with that being said, why do you think it lends itself so much to this very dark humor, this very black humor?
There's something about the phrase "staring into the void" that it's just it's everywhere right now. I don't understand why everyone is staring into a void of some sort. What are all these voids? Where do you stare into? That being said, all of these characters have huge eyes, which lends perfectly to staring into voids of various types.
Ideas are illusions, and all words are untrue.
Exactly. You put that on a smiling panda bear, and it's the most profound shit ever to someone.
Oh God, my God is dark, like a webbing made of 100 roots that drink in silence. The giant ice cream sundae.
We will, of course, link to these in the show notes because it's hard to do them justice by just reading the slogans out loud.
Right.
But they're pretty fantastic. A bear in a leisure suit in front of a disco ball, and it says, "Life is a never-ending orgy of emptiness." Sean, you're a chronically depressed meme junkie. How do you feel about Nihilisa Frank?
It's all right.
Right on brand.
The impact is taken away by the fact that there's a rainbow panda looking at you in the face with its beautiful round cheeks and giant eyeballs. Now, maybe if it was a Lisa Frank Pombre gorilla overlaid with any of this stuff, that might have had a better impact.
So what you're saying is you want a rainbow gorilla that says hashtag dicks out for Harambe?
Dicks out for Lisa Frank.
The whole point of the podcast right there.
Bistro. So I think, as someone that currently works in the service industry, I think that it's really how you have to how you feel a lot of the time. Because I just constantly talk with my people, like my friends at work that are also servers, and they just have like, they're so like upbeat just through what they have to do, which is like typically service. Because we all have, like, I think pretty much by and large we all have to deal with people at our jobs like pretty much daily, right? So it's kind of like you're like, you have all these issues that you're dealing with, but you're just like, man, I just have to put this fucking smile on and just make sure that this person doesn't know that I'm like really struggling through today. So it just feels like these like images just like speak to that sort of like mentality. So maybe that's my guess.
Tyler, I think you're projecting a lot of issues onto these smiling animals.
Maybe I am. I feel like that's always been sort of like my zone of like if I have to like make art that's actually like how I feel about life. It's like, it was for a while, it was so much about like fast food and like the fast food war machine. And I've always like done like the thing where I want to make them look really happy and really like, you know, because about customer service in the food industries, you have to be happy all the time. But it's like, it's really like, I'm not making enough money. And it's like dumping grease traps out in this dumpster, and there's grease, and then there's this food that's slowly killing you, and it's just like I didn't want to go to this place, guys. I didn't mean for this to happen. I just want to talk about cute pandas.
This is a dark show. This is a real dark show.
Oh no, it's the darkest timeline. I'm sorry.
I've got our third topic this week, and I want to talk about music streaming services. Particularly, I want to talk about exclusive releases on streaming services, because unless you live under a rock, you probably know that the new Frank Ocean album came out, and it's only available on Apple Music. I'm not going to give a whole lot of background, because it's not really all that important. The point is, you can only listen to it on Apple Music, and a bunch of people are really pissed off. So a bunch of record labels and Spotify and a few other organizations got into a big tiff this week over Frank Ocean, and there were accusations that Spotify has been burying songs by artists who sign exclusive deals once the tracks come out of exclusive. So if an album was title exclusive for the first 2 weeks, when it comes out on Spotify, they will bury it down in the search results because it was title exclusive for the first 2 weeks. And then Spotify executives came back and said, no, we weren't actually doing that. And there's been a bunch of fighting over this. And so I want to open with a question that's probably pretty self-explanatory. Do streaming exclusives piss you guys off?
Nope. No.
Yeah,
Here's why. YouTube.
Valid.
So music videos, then? Is that the implication, or is someone just ripping it and putting it on YouTube?
You got it.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good answer. I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but people do love ripping music onto YouTube.
You'll find it somewhere. I don't know.
Unless you're a pirate.
With the internet, I mean, it's not like it's like just on Apple Music, and that's the only way that's ever going to exist to find it for that period. It's like it's somewhere you can find it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not debating that. I guess it just bothers me that if you're the kind of person who's going to pay for a streaming service, you almost have to look at a chart of which musicians you have signed deals with that service. You know? Because I really like Jack White, but I'm not going to pay $15 a month for Tidal when Apple Music only costs $9.99.
I just don't feel like that. I don't I see what you're saying. I don't want to delegitimize what you're saying, because you're right. Like if you feel that you should pay for music that you listen to, which I do. it would make sense that you would want to do that. But I feel like YouTube solves this problem because, like I feel like I don't have to feel guilty about listening to music on YouTube because I'm gonna have to watch a 35-second ad for Geico before I watch anything on that website.
This is true.
And it's not my fault if they don't moderate their stuff. Maybe they need to be better at their user policies, but they're not going to do it because it attracts people to have their ad revenue.
Right, yeah. I mean, when the label can put an ad in front of a Frank Ocean track that somebody ripped and still make money off of it, it almost makes more sense for them to keep it up. So
that's a good point.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It violates their contract with Apple, but that's a longer story. I don't want to get into all the intricacies of the legal deal. I want to talk about it specifically from like our perspective. So, as music listeners, do you think that this is like a long-term solution to getting people to pay for music? Like, do you think we're going to have streaming exclusives this time next year? Because it feels like they really only started to take off within the last 12 to 18 months.
I feel like, I don't know who was responsible for doing it, but I feel like Tidal, since it's owned by musicians, I feel like they were the ones that kind of pushed it. They kind of started it as saying, like, you can only listen to, was it Beyonce's album that only came out on Tidal that everybody wanted to listen to at first?
Yeah, the self-titled Beyonce album.
Right. I mean, and that's all fine and dandy. Like, if that's how you want to do it, I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with people doing this.
But do you think it's a long-term solution? Because it feels like a Band-Aid fix to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they use it's like a marketing stunt. So I mean, no. Like if you really love Jack White or Beyonce or Jay-Z or what's his name?
Frank Ocean,
or if you love like whoever's going to be on that thing, that's all. That's fine. And I like this. Like I like Apple Music. It was a good service that I chose not to pay for, and I still use Spotify because it's free. But I know that I'm paying for it by letting them use my information and mining my things and playing their ad revenue and collecting my data. But I'm not about to sign up. I'll wait for 2 weeks to listen to Frank Ocean's song if I couldn't go on YouTube.
But see, like, what if it was like your favorite musician? What if it was the number one? I don't know who your favorite band is, but just imagine it's them. Would you do it then?
Okay, so if Black Hole Motorcycle Club like released a new album and it was only on Tidal, would I pay for it?
Yeah.
No.
You would just wait the 2 weeks?
Yeah. Then I take the money from the 6 months of ad streaming services that I would get, and I'd go buy a ticket to go see them play somewhere.
That's fair. I can't argue with that.
Because the money's actually going to them. Well, more of it than...
Right. Ben, how do you feel about exclusives? Do you think this is going to be a common practice?
See, I'm like, I don't really use streaming services, so this is kind of a new issue for me. But I think I'd be inclined to agree with Sean, where, especially coming from a musician's perspective, as long as someone somewhere is getting money for something, then like it's fine wherever it ends up. Like, but as a common practice, it seems to sort of alienate certain audiences, like people who, I don't know, would only use Apple products or whatever.
Yeah, I think Apple Music is definitely loaded because it implies that you're using an Apple device. Even though you can get Apple Music on Android now, it was in beta for like over a year. It's obviously not a priority for them, and so that does alienate people for sure. Tyler, you don't pay for a streaming service either, do you?
I actually pay for Spotify, but that's just because I really hate their ads.
I mean, they're pretty bad.
So, yeah, and it's more out of like, well, I want to listen to something in the car, you know. It's
so the exclusives don't really do anything for you?
I don't know. My music listening habits have gotten much more passive lately. I feel like I'm mostly just kind of like using Spotify's like discover functionality and just kind of like finding stuff through there, kind of digging through that kind of stuff. So it's not like I'm really like trying to find like the newest, greatest stuff. I'm just trying to find sort of like my own niche that I'm kind of like into lately. So,
and that's an interesting piece of it too, because this Frank Ocean record is really one of the first ones this year that I know a lot of people were like really upset about being an exclusive, because everybody has been kind of in their own world with Spotify's Discover Weekly and things like that. But there was so much hype about this album, kind of like the Beyonce one, where it just seemed like everybody had to listen to it right when it came out, for better or for worse. Have any of y'all listened to the Frank Ocean record yet?
Should I?
I mean, if you like R&B and or want to know what shit tons of other people are listening to this week, probably.
Ooh, not particularly.
It's pretty good.
Currently on electronic, like chiptune binge. I'm kind of like found like this really weird, like sort of like dancey kind of stuff. It's called Dance with the Dead. So that's a funny joke. I don't know. My life's over, guys.
Ben, Sean, Frank Ocean, you in or you out?
I've never listened to Frank Ocean in my life.
I know the name, but I don't know that much about his music.
There you have it, folks. We are right on trend here at Dude's Brunch.
Oh, no, I lied. I remember that one time Frank Ocean performed at the Grammys and he sang everything really out of tune. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I know about Frank Ocean, though.
That was the thing that did happen. Well, I wanted to talk about exclusives in a serious manner so that we could then go off and do what we always do at Dude's Brunch and tear the topic to shreds by asking dumbass questions. So I want to know, what stupid hypothetical exclusive contract deal would you like to see from your favorite artist or group or whatever?
None. I would like to see everybody that I like not do exclusive contracts.
I'm not saying it's what you would like. I'm saying the epitome of ridiculous exclusive deals.
Oh yeah, okay. This is a contract I'd like to see. Any band or any musician that I really don't like, I want to see them have an exclusive contract with some company where you have, who was it? See, and the thing is that I kind of like Wu-Tang Clan a little bit, but like make like Kanye should make like a one-off album where he sells for like $10 billion that nobody can ever listen to. Go for it. I like that kind of stuff. That makes me laugh because I don't want to hear it.
That sounds like a very Kanye thing to do.
And I hope it's garbage too.
It's just him screaming for 2
How
hours.
I feel about it. There you go. Make your exclusive stuff. I hope it sucks, and I hope somebody pays a lot of money for it to listen to your garbage. Because if it's good, people want to listen to it, and it'll get out there. So I'm not worried about it.
That has to be the most like excessive exclusive thing ever, right?
What, the
only
Wu-Tang
made
thing?
one.
Where they only made one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is the most exclusive thing that I know of, as like in terms of major artists.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think anything else exists. I think, let's go home, everybody. Our work is already done here.
But there have been some other weird ones, like Animal Collective secretly gave their most recent album to the Portland Airport, who had like exclusive playback rights to it for the first 2 weeks, and then it was released on streaming.
You fucking what?
I'm dead serious. They didn't tell anybody, but if you went to the Portland Airport for like 2 weeks before the album came out, that was the only thing that played over the speakers.
Or we call that more of an art installation than a limited release or something.
But why the hell not, you know?
Isn't it? Maybe that's all that it is, actually.
I mean, Smashing Pumpkins could exclusively released their album to the loudspeakers at Target. Like,
Oh yeah.
Do you really think Billy Corgan would do that?
not at Target. He would probably do like some deal with some amateur wrestling league, and you could only listen to his songs at wrestling matches. See, you're laughing because it's true.
It wouldn't make me want to go to a wrestling match, though. If Jack White decided that he was going to make his own, like, light beer line, right? And you could only get it at, like, small-town gas stations in Tennessee, and I lived close enough within a few hours, I would probably... You know those stupid, those like Taco Dorito commercials that Taco Bell did for a while where they had that dude that drove like 9 hours to get one of those stupid things?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that would be me. I would
Pre-ordering
drive
tacos.
to some like nowhere gas station to get Jack White's Third Man Record beer that was like brewed using in a barrel made of old drumsticks that Jack White used on tour or something. I would probably do that.
I mean, that sounds like a great Jack White idea.
But it's like... It's too preposterous, though, and I...
That's my point, though. I want to just be preposterous. The problem is when you say Jack White, you just assume that anything that comes out of your mouth is something he might actually do. I mean, the dude hid vinyl records inside of couches.
Nice.
He will literally do anything. He sent a record player to space.
All right, here's okay. I came up with something different. So people like to do like they like to hide like art, like they like to do like art finds, like famous artists will like drop off like little like sketches or prints at like various locations, and then they'll like be like, oh, this is where I'm at, come find it. And I want it to be with like a fucking like Mondo poster, like a $500 like one-off Mondo poster that's like let's just drop it like the rainforest or something. I don't know.
I want there to be some kind of program where instead of sending in box tops, you send in beer cans, and your prize is a new Teenage Bottle Rocket record.
I mean...
It takes like 100 beer cans to get one record.
I was gonna say, how much are cans worth in Georgia? Can you return them for anything?
I don't know. Alright, so our fourth topic this week is the new video from DJ Shadow and Run the Jewels for Nobody Speak. It's been pretty popular over the interwebs this week, and the track was pretty popular when it came out earlier this summer. So, wanted to talk about it with the guys. What are first impressions on this video?
Cliches are terrible, but they're cliches because they work. That's my first impression of this video.
The cliche being,
welcome to the UN roundtable where everybody fights all the time.
I don't know if I would call that like a mainstream cliche, but
I promise I could find at least 6 other music videos that have come out in the past 10 years that have this same setup.
okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you about it because you're probably right. But okay, Tyler, thoughts?
I don't want to throw the music out, but the video.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it feels like a pretty typical concept. Oh, look at these people that presumably probably don't listen to this kind of music saying the dirty words to another person, and you're like, ooh, this juxtaposition is so funny, but that's okay. I mean, it's still like good enough. I mean, I'm not like, oh, I've seen this before, I'm done. You know, it's like, I think it was a good execution from at least from a technical level. You know, I think that they chose the right people, and I think they certainly articulated the words very nicely. So, I mean, at least from the execution, it was pretty good. So,
Ben?
I was going to say the exact same thing, actually. I think the juxtaposition of the old people or the UN roundtable against that kind of music is what makes it appealing to the audience. And it was done well. I mean, it's as cliche as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with Sean and say that it's not cliche. I think the UN... I don't know. The UN angle, I felt, was the least cliched part about it. It was more the, like, let's make these two opposing voices in the song fight with each other with a bunch of, like, backup choreography. Like, it felt very... That part felt very cliched. But I thought the UN was an interesting place to set it. I don't know. I liked the fight choreography. I really liked the two actors that they chose as like the primary, I guess, lip syncers for the video. Some of the backup people were a little bit weak, but that's fine.
I liked the pig.
Yeah, the pig was kind of an interesting, strange touch. Why not? Sean's
like,
shaking his head no.
I think I would agree. I think that was a little
too far.
Like, oh, it's crazy. It's like the Anchorman kind of thing. It's like, where'd you find a hand grenade? Why? It's like, you weren't expecting this one.
I think calling this video. Okay. Actually, I want to start with something good. I want to say something what I liked about this song. DJ Shadow's beat is really good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
when I listen to this
beat.
musically, I think it's really good. I kind of wish I wouldn't seen the video because I might have liked it a little bit more. I do think that Run the Jewels is, I'll say it, I don't like them that much. Lyrically, much to be desired. They're just not. It's not my thing. So yeah, I just want to leave it at that. But DJ Shadow, good work, buddy. Because this is like a super good song to listen to, beat wise.
Yeah.
Like the intro is amazing. How they kind of go into that guitar and they do a little bit of acoustic and then go back out. Like that's a cool little catch there, and it's solid. I like that a lot. It's just.
And this is high praise coming from Sean because there's a lot of horns in this track.
That's all right. I know. That's why I think he did a good job. Like it is really nice to listen to. Like I like that kind of jazzy thing.
Yeah, and at that point, it really makes me wonder why there aren't like, kind of like more like songs that kind of like incorporate these sort of like more. It feels like a lot of times the beat's kind of in the background. It's like very like it's like way in the back. Like you're listening to what they're saying. Like the lyrics are most important, but like this one felt like the lyrics and like the beat were like very close together. Like they felt like you could like they really intermingled well. And maybe it's just my general disinterest with rap in general that I'm kind of like, well, aren't there more like that? There probably are, but
there are, but they have to be a producer of a certain like quality and level of respect.
Sure.
I mean, DJ Shadow is kind of one of these like huge name producers that not very many people get to work with.
And maybe it's also just good.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're going to put a DJ Shadow beat behind something, like you're not going to bury it underneath, 2 Chainz or Lil Wayne yelling into a vocoder. Like he's very selective about who he works with for that reason.
But there's got to be just as good a people out there that are willing to do it. I mean, like, I feel like it's not an issue of disinterest from this side, but, like, it's kind of, like, like, I just don't... Maybe it's more about... They don't want it to be about, maybe, like, so much about, like, the music or the beat isn't really more of a focus. They really want it to be more focused on, like, sort of, like, the lyrical contents that they're saying. Maybe that's more, like...
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That is a thing.
It's a format. It's like, this is a beat, and it could be almost wrapped over infinitely. Like, you could just keep going. Because it's a consistent beat that you don't have to worry about. Like, but in this song, it's very precise, very particular, and you can't really, like, you can mess that up. Like, when you're performing it live. So, maybe that's what it is. But that's me trying to dig into kind of the methodology of that sort of music.
Sure.
But I mean, obviously that was the best part for me. It was the music, the beat. I wasn't like, of course, I'm not very like interested in rap in of itself. But I mean, it's like it definitely felt like there was something special, something different from, because I've listened to Run the Jewels before, and it doesn't feel quite as focused on being like sort of poppy, like being like a is this what they call a banger?
Tyler, I don't think I want to let you ever use that word again. Ben, please save me from this heaping dumpster fire that is Tyler trying to explain rap.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Nice.
Hot take, bro.
Okay, so the videos that I posted in the thing, in the chat box, one of them is just a DJ Shadow beat without any of the lyrics from Runs the Jewels. Primo stuff. The second one that I posted is by this guy named Chris Joss, who did a song. This is the intro from a heist scene in Better Call Saul. And it's super groovy, and that's kind of what this reminded me of.
Yeah, I can hear the resemblance for sure.
So when I listen to this song, I'm listening to, like, this is what I like about it. Like, DJ Shadow did a really good job of, like, creating something that seems to be a really good genre in itself in terms of, like, being kind of jazzy and, like, kind of harkens back to, like, a Vegas-y thing. But he has those, like, DJ subtleties and effects that, like, take it out. Is that something that you listen to a lot today? You'd find in, like, hip-hop music or as a backtrack for rap, which I think is a big redeeming thing for me in this song.
So I brought this to the table partially because the video's been getting a lot of buzz, but I also just thought it would be something kind of outside of the realm of what you guys listen to, and it's interesting to hear both of you kind of say that you really enjoyed, like, the beat and the craftsmanship that went into that. You're just not a fan of the vocals from Run the Jewels. I think it's interesting how a good producer can capture you in spite of what's going on in the video and in spite of what's going on in the lyrics if the beat is really that good.
I mean, listen, I'm willing to throw that song on a playlist. I'm not willing to put probably maybe the whole album, but I mean, like, it was a pretty good song, I would have to say. All things considered. So, don't get it twisted.
Dear God, you're white.
That's why I'm on the show, baby. Hey kids, do you know anything about those dank maymays?
Alright, thanks for sticking with us, and now it's time to close the show out as we always do with a round of shameless plugs. Especially shameless this week, after a show that can only be described as a show. Our guest, Ben Pentecost, had computer malfunctions during the end of our last segment, but he has let me know via text message that if you would like to, you can check out his Tumblr, deltasandshields.tumblr.com, for all of his ramblings and such. Tyler, what shameless plugs do you have?
Hey everybody, how you doing? You can find my design and illustration at tylerdreed.com. You can find me on the socials as TER Design on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow the Rook OTR on Twitter to see me talk about board games. Please talk to me. I would love to strike up a conversation about the things that I love.
Sean, shameless plugs from you?
Just like every week, you can always find me on Twitter at sevans8910. That's about all I got going on right now. Things have been really busy this month with work and everything, so I'll try and work on some stuff to get out. But I've been following us some music, so maybe we'll post some stuff. I sent some stuff to Taylor this week, and you really enjoyed it. So we'll see what Tyler thinks, and maybe check that out on Facebooks.
And shameless plugs from me. Forced Fandom Season 2 is going strong. We are watching Gilmore Girls. It is an experience. If that is a thing that you want to be a part of, you can find that over on iTunes and anywhere else you get podcasts. Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at TC Olmstead and the show at Dudes Brunch. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this week, and we'll see you next week for more brunch.
honestly, I've never been in a situation where I've had to like deeply wash my car. I just like I usually just do it at home with like dish soap and a washcloth. Like that's
Wait.
enough for me.
Ben, we're talking about washing your car, not the dishes. Okay? please answer the question.
Ben's car is actually a plate with Hot Wheels glued on the bottom of it.
But how else do you wash your car? Oh, like what?
Ben actually has a magic. He throws it in the washing machine.
No, wait. But what do you guys use to wash your car? Because is that like
Car soap?
is that a thing?
Yeah.